comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
All right, good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's Friday. It's a good start. All right, if you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. If you want to check out any of our podcasts, you can check them out there. All right. Just give it a little bit for people to come in. We don't have anybody here in a second. We'll just go ahead and move forward. Morning, Jeff. Good to see you. All right. We got Jerry on. All right. People are starting to show up, so let's get started. So, sometimes, like right now, I get confused sometimes myself, on what God may want for me or what God would like me to do. And I'm trying to make money at the same time. So, I have a class coming up, and it's going to happen in a month, and I haven't gotten one person in the class yet. I just don't know what else to do, man. I've been putting forth the effort. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just not seeing the dividends. So I'm wondering if I'm, is this what God wants me to do? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So, and a lot, this class is really dependent on a lot of other stuff, so I'm pretty concerned about it. Dude, I am not in the mood for your shit today. See this water bottle? It will be your friend. This whole place reeks of fucking cat piss, and I'm not happy with him right now. It's because they're spraying. Not much I can do. I'm actually at a point with them where I don't want them. They're just like, they're causing more confusion than harming. I don't know what to do about that either. So, but I'm not the kind of person to just bring on animals and let them go because they're inconvenient. So that's not how it works, right? So happiness comes quietly. This is going to be by Dr. Bob and the good old timers, right? Makes it sound like an AA band or something. like some Dr. Bob and the good old timers will be playing some sweet tunes for you with their spoons. They're from the 30s, right? The banjos. What's that called? Shaving a haircut, right? Shaving a haircut. Dun, dun. Did you know that before now? That's where that came from? Did you know that barbers and doctors used to be the same? That's why the barbers have the red on the thing. So, okay. All right. I'm not awake, and that's what happens. Happiness comes quietly. The trouble with us alcoholics was this. We demanded that the world give us happiness and peace of mind. In just particular order, we wanted to get it. By the alcohol route. We are very demanding people, aren't we? Or we can be. Excuse me. We can also be very undemanding and go the opposite way. But we're not talking about that side, right? Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. I don't usually add people to my videos that I don't know. I apologize, but please feel free to hang out and get to know me. And at some point, I'd be happy to let you on. But welcome. This is a daily reflection. What we do is, we cover daily reflection, talk about some things, see how we can make our life a little bit better, right? So, and the world around us. So that's what we're trying to do here. So, yes, our demands upon life itself and people, especially people, right? Why? Because we can see them. I'm going to also read out Language of the Heart, because I'm surprised it just isn't. Yeah, see, I don't even need to do anything because it's the only part I've read in the book, so it just opens to it. So let's see what the rest of the book has to say. And we weren't successful. But when we take time to find out about some of the spiritual laws and familiarize ourselves with them and put them into practice, then we do get happiness and peace of mind. There seems to be some rules that we have to follow, but happiness and peace of mind are always here, open and free to anyone. So we find out that we don't even need to demand these things in life, that we can add, that they're actually given to us freely. No, it's not going to be free. You're going to give up your anger for it. I mean, if you want to get literal in the sense of whether it's free or not, I mean, you're going to be giving up some things that aren't doing you any good. So, whether that be your rage, you have rage. You a man? Yep, you have rage. Show me a man, I'll show you an anger problem somewhere in there. We're taught that. All of us are taught that. And I hate to say it, but it's really only this next generation that's coming up that actually understands the equality on emotions. Tell you guys, we're a little behind on that. I don't know where they got that from. Maybe a Gen Xer. Let's not forget about Gen X. We tend to forget about Gen X, the greatest generation of all. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out of The Next Frontier, Emotional Sobriety by Bill W. I think that many ulcers who have put our AA boost cure to severe but successful tests will still find they often lack emotional sobriety. Perhaps they will be the spearhead for the next major development in AA, the development of much more real maturity and balance, which is to say humility, in relations with ourselves, with our fellows, and God. Those adolescent urges that so many of us have for top approval, perfect security, and perfect romances, urges quite appropriate to age 17, proved to be an impossible way of life when we're at the age of 47 or 57. So the thing with alcohol is it will emotionally stunt your growth. Or I should say addiction will emotionally stunt your growth. So if you started drinking at the age of 14, guess how old you are emotionally? 14, maybe even younger. Emotionally, I think I was younger. Still am. Still working on it. Very. Thoughts go through my head sometimes. So what he's saying is the way that we act when we are 13, 7, throwing ourselves on the ground, not getting what we want, is not appropriate behavior when you get to be 47, when you get to be a little bit older. Those adolescent urges that so many of us have for top approval. And we still act that way. Since AA began, I've taken immense wallops in all these areas because of my failure to grow up emotionally and spiritually. He's talking about trauma. Okay? He's talking about the trauma in his life. He's talking about depression, anxiety. Bill W. had very, very bad depression. My God, how painful it is to keep demanding the impossible, and how very painful to discover finally that all along we have had the cart before the horse. Then comes the final agony of seeing how awfully wrong we have been, but still finding ourselves unable to get off the emotional merry-go-round. So now we get to a place where we see that we're doing it, but we can't escape it. How to translate right mental conviction into right emotional result. And so into easy, happy, and good living. Well, that's not only the neurotics problem, it's the problem of life itself for all of us who got to the point of real willingness to hew the right principles in all of our affairs. Even then, as we hew away, peace and joy may still elude us. That's the place so many of us AA ulcers have come to, and it's a hell of a spot, literally. How shall our unconscious, from which so many of our fears, compulsions, and phony aspirations still stream, be brought into line with what we actually believe, know, and want? How to conceive our dumb, raging, and hidden Mr. Hyde becomes our main task. So part of the problem is we still have another side to us that we are hiding. This person has mental illnesses. This person has trauma. Okay. Trauma wasn't, I don't know if they were really, I don't know if they knew of PTSD then yet. I don't know. It actually hasn't been until the last, 5-10 years they have found, good ways to help PTSD without drugs, without medication. You still take medication, but you don't need as much or as heavy. Okay, because of that. So the way that it works is this: you get on meds and then you do the work, and you work your ass off. Right? I've recently come to believe that this can be achieved. I believe so because I began to see so many benighted ones, folks like you and me, commencing to get result. Last autumn, depression, having no really rational cause at all, almost took me to the cleaners. I began to be scared and that I was in for another long chronic spell. Considering the grief I've had with depression, it wasn't a bright prospect. I kept asking myself, why can't the 12 steps work to release depression? By the hour, and remember, this is Dr. Bob, this is Bill W. asking that. By the hour, I stared at the St. Francis prayer. It's better to comfort than to be comforted. Here was the formula, all right, but why didn't it work? Now comes our answer. Suddenly, I realized what the matter was. My basic flaw had always been dependence. Almost absolute dependence on people or circumstances to supply me with prestige, security, and the like. Failing to get these things according to my perfectionist dreams and specifications, I had fought for them, and when defeat came, so did my depression. So he started to figure out that he was setting himself up for depression. See, we cannot rely on other people for our happiness, especially when we have depression. It has got to come within. Okay? Because people are people. It isn't that people can't make us happy. I'm going to put it this way. It's kind of like money. Money doesn't make me happy, but it sure makes me happier. Right? I love you. All right. So he made the decision that his happiness and his joy was going to come from within. Let's see what Dr. Bob has to say about it. Isn't it cool how Dr. Bob and Bill W are saying the same thing? Yep. Here's the thing. Dr. Bob dealt with this stuff too. It's just that he was a little more anonymous than Bill was. Hey, so he kind of kept his stuff closer to the chest. And there's nothing wrong with that either. He had his reasons. If that's his comfort level, then good for him. It doesn't matter. He still did the work. The simplicity of the AA program teaches me that happiness isn't something I can demand. It comes upon me quietly while I serve others. In offering my hand to the newcomer or to someone who has relapsed, I find that my own sobriety has been recharged with indescribable gratitude and happiness. Amazing how that can switch around real quick. Where you can find yourself in a bad mood. Maybe you're having a hard time with something, only to find out that somebody's going through something worse, and then put a little gratitude in your life, a little bit of humility. See, I tell you right now, I could probably find 10 other people that would love to be where you're at. Easy. So think on that a little bit, when you're having pity parties and stuff. That's usually where I go is, Dion, is it really that fucking bad? Is it really so bad that I have got to be upset about it? I find usually the answer is no. I'm not saying I always react that way. I wish I did. But I do know that I'm getting better at it. Every single day, I'm getting better at it. Let's look at a chat here. Chris says, I can't stand fear. Shows me how much I need God. I don't think that's a bad thing, man. Something that tells you that you need God, then turn that into a good thing, man. You know what I mean? Like, turn that around. Fear brought me to God, and I love God, right? See, fear could be utilized. If fear can be utilized for good stuff, but I do get that frustration of the fear, and I think that's what you're saying is you can't stand the fear. Sometimes it gets to us, man. Those might be harder days. So what do? What we always do. Pray, breathe in and out, and go to meetings. Right? All right. Guys, that's going to be it for today's daily reflection. I will be back tomorrow. It would have went longer, but wow, it really stinks in here, and I need to clean it up. So, all right, guys. The part of owning cats, man. That's how it is. All right. I love you guys. Peace out and have a day.